If a cop or one of us violates somebody's civil rights, what happens to us? Right? We get sued. We could go to jail. We can go to prison. But politicians can go around passing repugnant, unconstitutional laws knowing, and Gavin Newsom admitted this week, that he signed those just to gain the support of that group because he knows the court will strike it down. Part of the things we do here at the Gun Center when we do our CCW class and most of our classes is we do a legislative update, because a lot of times you don't hear about what's happening in the gun industry until you get to a class like this, unless you have the right feeds on Facebook or on Instagram, or you get the right newsletters from people. And I want to talk a little bit about what's happening in California right now, today. First of all, there are 3 lawsuits going up that will give us back our magazines. That was a big one this last week. The Ninth Circuit normally will send their cases first to a 3-judge panel and then to the full 11-judge panel. They're skipping the 3-judge panel to hear Judge Benitez's magazine ruling. If the Supreme Court the California Supreme Court disagrees with the ruling, it goes to the U.S. Supreme Court and it will be fast-tracked. And all of the states, if it makes it, here's the pressure that you see with the courts. If California rules in favor of Judge Benitez's magazine ruling, which basically says there's no such thing as a 10-round capacity limit. It would open it up to standard capacity, which whatever the gun comes with is what would be the standard capacity. If they support it, then California law changes. So now the other courts are pressuring the Ninth Circuit, because if they deny Judge Benitez and his ruling, it goes to the Supreme Court. When the Supreme Court rules, it's the rule of the land, plus Hawaii, plus Alaska. So there's a lot of pressure from other states for the California Supreme Court to just rule in favor of Benitez. That would affect California and the western states, would not affect all of the Union. If it goes to the Supremes, that's the law of the land. So there's all kinds of dynamics going on. There are 2 cases going up for the California handgun roster now. One gets rid of the roster, one gets rid of the requirements of the roster, which is the loaded chamber indicator and the magazine disconnect. Things that they have to put on the gun to be in California. When the first ruling came in on the roster, California sacrificed the microstamping rule. Anybody not know what the microstamping rule is? Basically what that means is, back when Schwarzenegger was governor, the California legislature passed a microstamping rule saying that there has to be a microstamp on the tip of the firing pin with the make, model, and serial number of your gun, and on the extractor to put it on the casing. That way, if you were to go out and do something nefarious with your guns, we could find you. Because, of course, you cannot replace an extractor and you cannot replace a firing pin in a gun. That's impossible, right? Schwarzenegger signed it into law with a little note saying, when the technology gets there, we can implement this. Well, the technology never happened. So when Kamala Harris became Attorney General, she arbitrarily decided that the law was good and that the technology was there. And in 2014, she signed it off and approved it. We have not had a new gun until this year since 2014 in California. A new gun issued to California, one of the new models, because of the microstamping rule. When the case went to the Ninth Circuit, California dropped the microstamping rule, and that's why we're getting the M18. That's why we got the new Ruger Max 9, the LCP 222, the Mark IV, all these guns that we've been getting lately coming in. Those are the good things happening right now. Now, in every socialist or communist manifesto, the very first thing they go for is what? Disarming the people. Because no logical person would want to live in a socialist or a communist society under a dictator. So what is one of the first things that the California Sacramento politicians did? They reinitiated a law establishing the microstamp again. And the governor just signed it this week into office. After they just took it away because they knew it was a violation. Next, 11% tax on ammunition and on firearms starting January 1st. A surtax, a sin tax is what they called it. Coming up January 1st. Now, the CRPA, FCCP have already filed action against that. That's going back to the courts. It's already stayed. And now finally, I've talked about this quite a bit in my classes, is Senate Bill 2, SB 2, the Concealed Carry Act. 4 hours is a burden for renewals, isn't it? It's just kind of a pain in the butt. Well, congratulations. If they don't stop this by January 1st, it's now 8 hours for you guys. 16 hours for initials. 16 hours for initials. So guess what? Our prices will double now to put on these classes. When they pass laws like this, who does it hurt the most? The rich people or the poor people? When they raise gas prices, who does it hurt the worst? Rich people or poor people? They're just making it harder for the baseline income maker to live and put them in poverty. SB 2 will also prevent you from going to the Thursday night marketplace right here in Hanford because it's a public park. And if you're a concealed carry holder, it's against the rule. It pretty much establishes you can go nowhere with your gun because businesses by default are no carry zones. Banks are no carry zones. Hospitals are no carry zones. Anywhere that you can carry, even private businesses, if they want guns in their building, they have to put a state-approved sign in their door saying guns are allowed. The governor signed that this week. You have to have 1 hour mandatory of mental health training in this class and take a test on it. Yeah. And California is trying to make sure that the sheriffs cannot choose what the qualification course is anymore. So it's going to cost you more in ammo now too. Okay? A lot of things are happening. Both of these have lawsuits against them already. But my problem is simply this. If a cop or one of us violates somebody's civil rights, what happens to us? Right? We get sued. We could go to jail. We could go to prison. But politicians can go around passing repugnant, unconstitutional laws knowing, and Gavin Newsom admitted this week, that he signed those just to gain the support of that group because he knows the court will strike it down. So they make these laws, make us spend money to go and fight these things, and they have no punishment for doing this at all. They can pass any unconstitutional law. Look at New Mexico right now. Right? The governor there took away concealed carry. They can pass these laws, but there is no financial or criminal liability that they have to receive. It makes no sense that we have to fight and they can do whatever they want to us. And until we start holding them accountable and we start getting out there and we fix this election system, it's going to continue going down this road where we have to spend money to fight their tyranny. Any questions about SB 2 or anything else going on right now? I just wanted to get that out because that's what's happening right now in the state. Thank you.